Hey guys, good morning, Creator Mom, happy Sunday. So I was listening to Tim Grimes and I thought, oh my God, he was talking about how, like some teachers say, like, you have to believe for everything, right? Like, but then we make the point, how many times did amazing things happen to us that we didn't, like, believe specifically for? And I could think back to a few times in my life. My coffee maker is being weird. Um, for instance, when I got a full scholarship to university, did not try hard at all. Not at all. I actually was very nonchalant about it. You know, they recommend you to apply to more than one university, and, my mother was kind of like, oh, yeah, you gotta get a scholarship or something. Well, anyways, but little did I know I would get a full scholarship because nobody was shooting for that. So, I had total, I think what it was is that I had a total careless attitude about it. And careless doesn't mean a bad attitude about it. It means I had a neutral attitude about it. Careless means my emotions are not heightened in either direction of the polar whatever, in the negative or the positive. I was just neutral, steady, right? That was good. When I moved out of the shelter, actually before I moved out, the shelter director, one of the directors or whatever, comes to me and says, hey, let me know what your move out date is. I got somebody who wants to give you a bunch of furniture and stuff. They're moving stuff out of their mother's house or something, and they have to get rid of stuff. I was not believing for furniture for the house. I kind of was just like, I knew that the shelter was going to give me a voucher maybe to get some things, like a dining room table, whatever I could find at St. Vincent's, which is a thrift store. Excuse me. And so I wasn't really worried about it. I wasn't really worried about the details. I was just like more believing to find a place. That was kind of like my main concern. And then everything else would just come after that. So when she said that, I was like, oh my God, whoa. But she didn't even explain it that good. Like, I thought maybe it was just some things they were moving. We find a place. I get in contact with the woman. They tell me, oh, actually, my mom passed away. It was a board member's wife whose mom had passed. And they wanted to donate her stuff. They wanted it to go to a useful place. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you want to give stuff, but you don't just want to throw it to the thrift store. Like, you actually want it to have a lot of meaning. I was like, oh my God. She was like, come and meet me at her condo and pick out whatever you want. Whatever you want. And we'll have a delivery service deliver it to you. I was like, oh my God. Obviously, like, wow, thank you so much. Like, holy crap, It was very benevolent, So, and I wasn't even believing. See, that's one thing I love about what Neville Goddard says. He says, things will come into your life in ways you know not how, strange ways. Now I understand why people say God works in mysterious ways, but because how things come to pass, you're not going to know all the time, or most of the time. You're not going to know how, like, the little details are going to work out, and that seems kind of scary too at the same time, like, walk by faith and not by sight. But anyways, like I said, I wasn't even specifically believing for that. So maybe, like, I was probably just, like, more neutral, and that happened. Praise God for that, right? So anyways, there's other things too in my life, if I sat down and thought about it, that but it's funny because after I had my awakening or my born again experience, and I got into, like, more of, like, the grace movement, Jesus did it all, the finished works of Christ. They they said, you didn't even try to believe. Like, of my belief did not cause my salvation. That's okay. That's the greatest thing in the world that's ever happened to me, that I did not believe for. I did not believe in God so that I could get saved. It wasn't even through my own belief. That's the weird thing about it. Like, I did not, with my brain here, I didn't consciously say anything here in my rational brain. It was something, that a seed that sprouted inside of me, unbeknownst to me, an experience that came upon me. Like a lot of people describe, it's an experience that comes upon you. You didn't try to get it. It was given you as a gift. And so that really makes you think, you know? It really makes you think how many, it's given as a gift. So in the grace movement, they say, you didn't even have to believe. You didn't even have to put in self-effort to believe. God did that for you. Christ did that for you. And I agree with that, because that's what I experienced. No mental energy went into my salvation, except to follow the leadings of my intuition. That's it. It was not a lot of mental self-effort. Like, I gotta believe. And it's so true, because, and I think that I'm like, oh yeah. And this is why, once again, I love Tim Grimes and anybody else who talks about relaxation and and Richard Dot's. He put me on to Richard Dot's. I love Richard Dot's readings. I mean, when I read his books, they feed my soul. They feed my spirit, you know? Because it's like neutrality. Because if we try so hard to believe a certain thing, we might even actually end up creating more resistance. And we get tired because we're putting a lot of self-effort into it. So like my video yesterday about like believing something for the future based on a past experience, you know, I mean, I still agree with my video in the fact that if I do want, I do have a desired outcome that I want to see, I have to stop speaking against myself. You know, I have to hold more neutrality, like, or speaking negatively, you know, about like that person and how they may act in my future that is undesired. Like, I don't want that. So why would I keep saying that to other people? You know, I'm just reaffirming that. So I do agree. I don't agree that I have to push hard to be like, I believe this is gonna, you know what I mean? I do believe that I need to stop being negative and I need to start being more neutral and relaxed and flowy about it, you know? And then follow divine unctions, divine inspirations. Like, that's it. But yeah, neutrality. Neutrality over like trying to believe really hard. I think that's it for the win.